Hey guys, welcome to Hablando con Taco, my first ever podcast. I'm Michael, Texas 956 Dad on TikTok, and we'll see how this goes. I want to chop it up with some people. Y'all want to come on my podcast? Hit me up. Just eat some tacos and go deep for about an hour. So I've had this idea for this podcast for a while because I go on my lives, but I get restricted a lot with what I can say. And having my own podcast, I can pretty much say whatever I want. It's all on me. But this weekend was a pretty awesome weekend for me because we spent it playing Madden. I have a 13 and a 16-year-old. And we spent it playing Madden. And I've been playing Madden, bro, since I was a teenager, since I was 13. And every time I do it with my friends, we go hard, bro. We talk a lot of smack. I remember my cousin here about 20 years ago. My daughter, when she was first born, everyone would come hang out in my house. It was a cool house because we were just 20 years old at that point. And we had our jobs and I was the only one with the house. So my place was the spot to come hang out. And I always had this house filled with people. But a couple things I learned in those times was, one, you can't have that many friends around because they're not all friends. I used to have a group of 10, 15 people here at all times, but you weed through them as the years go by who really is your friend and who's hating and all that shit. But another thing is Madden. We go hard on Madden. I remember there was one time my cousin was here and we'd go hard and I'd be poking at him and talking smack and I was just laying on him and leaning on him. And he got mad halfway through the game and walked outside. And I went outside. I followed him like, come on, let's go. Come on. What are you running for? I started throwing rocks. I have little pebbles outside. I started chunking pebbles at him. And he just gets pissed, bro. And he storms off on his car. You're such an asshole. And he gets in his car and takes off. And I was like, what a bitch, bro. And I never let him live it down. Every time I'd see him, I left him voicemail like, bro, you're really going to run out like that? I guess. Whatever. But this weekend, my boys have been playing Madden. And I've been listening to them. And I'm not really down with the new Madden because I don't know none of the teams. Like, everyone else that's playing, like, I don't know. I'm not current with all the stats. I just know I'm a Cowboys fan because by default, my dad's a Cowboys fan. He's always diehard. So by default, I'm a Cowboys fan. So that's the only ones I know. But they kill it. They just downloaded the brand new Madden and I played one game and it was, bro, the buttons aren't the same, whatever. Well, I'm hearing them talk this weekend and there's a legacy mode on Madden. And you can play with all the old players that I'm used to. And let me tell you how things took a turn for the worse this weekend because of that legacy mode. Every bad habit, every bad sportsmanship about me came out this weekend because I was able to play like I used to. I started whooping on my boys and I'm just leaning on them. I'm just talking smack. I'm like, is that all you got? You just run one play. And I'm just in their head, especially the little one. Ugh. And see, my little one's the nicest one. He's my bunny. But I went hard on him, bro. Hard up because my middle one, I talk and he's just not listening. I have to like physically get in his face and like while we're playing to get a rise out of him. But my little one, I get in his head a lot. And my wife was getting pissed. She's like, yeah, stop, leave them alone. I was like, nah, they want to play like men. We're gonna play like men. I'm not gonna treat them any different. They're gonna play this a man's sport. I've been playing this longer that they've been in my ball. I'm talking smack, bro. And they're pissed. And my little one, we went shopping. And I had to actually put a rule like, look, we're going to go and we won't talk about Madden because obviously you're mad. You want to cry. And I don't want you to cry in front of your mom. Like, I'm just chingando. And Erica's mad. Like, it went from like, ha, 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 to her being irritated to her being pissed off. And later on that night, sure enough, me and her get into an argument over it. She gets pissed off at me. She lashes out at me with coraje, you know what I mean? And I was like, oh, this chick, we're just playing, bro. Why does it gotta be all that? Um, and I told her, I was like, hey, because we had to go have a talk afterwards. She was really mad. And I like, hey, what I'm doing right now with your boys, it's an honor for me. I've been playing Madden, babe, since I was a little boy. And for them to be able to sit here and do it with me, with their dad, and play it at the level I play it, man, it's a gift for me. I love every moment of this. You don't see the house filled out with those same people that used to be here all the time. Now all I got is my boys to play with them. And I feel like I'm playing with my friends again. And just them getting to experience Madden at another level. My son, bro, he thought he was clever. I'm going to go I'm already up by 8 points. And I make the extra point. I make the touchdown. So I just needed the kick, and I'd be up by 9 points. There's like 30 seconds left. He's not going to catch up. But as I'm going to kick it, he pushes a button that puts a screen on my meter, bro. And I shanked the kick. I was like, okay, I didn't know we were cheating. Okay, that's fine. I just let you know, I'm not getting mad. So you don't get mad either. Because I love to cheat. But he opened that door. So sure enough, he's down by 8 points now. He's driving the ball. And he gets about 30 yards out, and there's 11 seconds left. And no, there's 4 seconds left. It was the last play of the game. So I was like, okay, I'm standing up by the TV, and he picks his play. And I've been messing with him the whole game. Like, bro, you're just going to pick the same play. But this time, he picks his play. And I wait for him to hike the ball. And as soon as he hikes the ball, I turn around and get in front of his face like this. And he's like, and I'm just blocking the screen. He just fucking throws it to the middle of nowhere. He's like, that's cheating. I'm like, see, I don't play those games, son. I'm old school. And he was pissed. He was really pissed at my wife. So she's like, they're not going to want to play with you. I'm like, babe, I love these little moments that we get to spend, playing Madden like I used to with my friends. But for real, though, you're a fucking great mom. For real. Like this whole weekend, all this has been going on. And just seeing you defend your little cubs. Damn. I'm so proud of you for being such a great mom to my kids. I couldn't have picked a better mother, babe. And she started to cry, but it's true. Like, she does everything for these kids. Like, it's a balance between me and her. Because I get mad that she overmothers them. Like, hardcore. And me, I try to be a little rougher. Because I don't want no soft kids. Even my daughter. Like, I mess with her a lot. And it's... Yes, partly because I'm a jerk, but a lot has to do with it. Like, I want them with thick skin, and their skin is a little too thick sometimes. They're kind of jerks with me. They say mean stuff back, but I'm still proud of that bite that they have. We're at San Antonio this past weekend, on the 17th for a Christmas party in December. And it was a different world. I took all my family, and I have my 13, well, he's 14 now. He just turned 14 a couple weeks ago. And my 16-year-old. And I've raised them tough since little kids. Like, we're always wrestling. Since they were babies, I'm putting them in headlocks, tussling with him. Like, I've gotten everyone in this house pissed off grappling with them. Just smothering them, and I hold them there, and it got into, violent, where I hurt my son. He hurt his wrist. We're tumbling off the bed. Boom, he hurt his wrist. He was about 12, 13. The 13-year-old a couple of years ago, he got real mad. I got him, I'll never forget, I got him in a lock. And he started thrashing violently. I just came down more on him. And he got pissed. He's like, I hate you. Like, it went from a playful time to him being pissed. And he's like, I hate you. And I'm like, oh, so I just held down tighter. Like, oh, now you're really not going anywhere. And I got a lot of shit from my wife for that. She's like, he doesn't like to play that way. Leave him alone. Like, I can't. It's my job to make him uncomfortable. It's my job to get him that angry. It's my job to push him. I'm his dad. That weekend that I was over there for Christmas, my cousins, they're a little on the softer side. Like, they get their feelings hurt. Like, you can't say certain things, or they get all emotional. I don't know. It's kind of weird being there. And like a couple weekends before then, Halloween, we're up there also. And I have a video on Facebook and TikTok, but Facebook really blew up. I have over like 11 million views of my son. He approaches me during this party because they bust out boxing gloves. And he's like, come on, let me hit you. And I was like, slow your roll, sit your ass down. He's like, nah, come on, let me hit you once. I was like, son, settle down. He's like, come on, let me hit you one good one. Like, okay. I'm going to let you hit me, but I'm going to hit you back. He's like, bet. And the 16-year-old, he's tough. Physically tough. That one I can put in a pretzel, and I've been holding him down and messing with him since he was a baby, and he doesn't lose control. He's very calm, and he's like, okay, I'm gonna get you. And he's been waiting to put me on my ass since he was a little kid. Recently, I put him in jiu-jitsu, and he hurt my elbow. He put me in a lock. He choked me out. He didn't choke me out. I tapped out. But I'm proud from the little boy that he was just wrestling with him to the point where now where he was choking out his dad. It was a very proud moment for him, I'm sure. But we're at this party. Now he wants to put his hands on me. And I'm a firm believer in, like, okay, you mess around, you fuck around, and you find out. And he wants to fuck around, and let's find out. So I'm not gonna lie, I was legitly worried that he was gonna knock me out cold right there in the middle of the party. So I braced myself against the pole, but he winds back and bam, he clocks me good. I'm like, okay, and I step back and I tell him take off the glove. Now it's your turn. And he stands there, and let me tell you how this party comes to a standstill. You can watch the video. This party comes to a standstill. I was like, no, do not hit him. My son's 126 pounds. We just went to his wrestling match this weekend. And I'm a big guy. So everyone was like, no, don't do it. That's child abuse. Like, they're all my tias, my cousins, and everyone's watching. And this puto is just standing there. And he's just looking at me, just staring me down. Like, both of us, everything, this commotion's going around us. I got my mom, I got his mom, I got my dad, I got my tios. Everyone like, no. But all I see is him. And I'm like, okay, let's do it. So he's just looking at me, and I go up to him, and I'm thinking in my head, like, do I go soft on him? Do I just jab him in the nose, bro? Like, nah, man, I got to give it to him just like he gave it to me. You know, I got to stay true to my words. Because in this life, if you give a punch, you expect a punch. That's just how life is. Like, you can't just throw punches in life and be talking shit and don't expect anyone to call your punk card. Eventually, someone's going to call you out. Someone's going to punch you back. So you always got to be ready for that punch. And that was the whole lesson here. Okay, mijito, you want to give your dad a punch? Let's go. I got one back for you. And sure enough, I go up to him, I'm like, boom, clock him good. And everyone was like, what the, like, and I sat down, and my mom told me, she's like, mijito, you shouldn't be putting your hands on your son. Like, yes, I should. I like, that lesson that just was learned there, Mom, it's very important. See, life's not going to hold back. If he wants to put his hands on somebody, someone's going to hit him back. And I need him to know that there's consequences. You want to be chingoncito? There's consequences. And he learned that. Like, but did you see how he didn't back down? Did you see how he was just staring me down? Like, everything's going on, but me and him are just locked eyes. And he's like this, and I'm like, okay. It was a real proud moment for me, because later on that day, later on that night, my uncles were like, hey, wait, didn't move. And my uncles are old school. What their sons are not so much, like, they're not as tough. My uncles are, like, they I remember them. See, I'm older. I'm in my 40s. I'm going to be 40 in a couple months. And my uncles, well, they're in their 50s, 60s. And my little nephews, my little cousins, they're in their 20s. So I feel like I resonate more with my uncles than I do with my little cousins. They told me that night. But sure enough, they're like, hey, este cabrón, este sí es huevudo. Yeah. And then my other uncle, later on that morning, earlier that morning, he shows up. He's like, hey, your son didn't move, man. Damn, he's tough. He's like, all the other ones, all your other cousins, they wouldn't even stand there. They would have moved right away. They would have been crying yesterday. And that moment that he said that, like, damn, like acknowledging that my 16-year-old was ballsier than all the 20-year-olds put together meant something, because that's the reason I've been fighting with my kid, messing with my kid, because I don't want him to back down. I don't want to raise a soft kid. That night, my little cousins, there's one in particular that he's 26, and he recently got a divorce about a year ago. And my mom had touched base with me. I checked. I'm not close to all my cousins. They're in San Antonio, and I'm down here. But my mom tells me, bits and pieces here and there when I go visit them. And she had told me, I remember her telling me that my little cousin got divorced. And I saw him on his Facebook. I have him on Facebook, and he's there working out. And he's a big guy. He's losing weight, and he's working on his fitness. And he's the one that had joined boxing. But that's the reason there was boxing gloves that night. But I'm there at this party, and I have all my cousins there, have all my uncles, my dad, everybody's there. There's a lot of food. And I turn and I see my little cousin. I see him there in the corner, and he's like this. This whole party is going on with family, and he's like this, and I see him, and I was like, I go up to him, I was like, hey, what's going on with you? Like, nothing, I'm just chilling. I was like, bro, your body language shows that you're scared. He's all like, what? I'm like, yeah, the way you're standing like a scared little girl, you're a scared little kid. You're just like this. Nah, man, I'm good. I'm just ready for anything to pop off. Like, well, first of all, we're with family, so you shouldn't have to worry about that. But the way you're standing, like, if things were to pop off, you'd be the first one I'd go to. He's like, what? I'm like, okay, fine. If you were a serial killer, if you were a killer, bro, and you're stalking our family right now, we're all interacting, we're all having these moments. If you were a killer standing outside just watching it, just based on body language, who would you not mess with? Like, who in here is not to be fucked with? And he turns to my Uncle Steve. Sure enough, he's not to be fucked with. I would have picked him too. And he's like, Steve. I'm like, right. I'm like, okay. Same scenario. Who would you go for? Like, who would be the one that you'd pick off that looks the weakest just by the way they look? And he picks out one of the other little cousins, and granted, and then I'm like, okay, where do you stand in that meter of the hardest one here and the most squealing one here? Where do you stand? Like, because the way you're standing, it looks like you're awkward, bro. You're 26, bro. You're a killer. Imagine you're a lion. You're a lion, bro. A 26-year-old lion in the savannah just hunting and killing. That's all lions do, bro, is they eat and they fuck. That's it. Lions. And look at you, 26-year-old. You're here and you look scared at a family function. He's like, nah, man, it's because I've been through a lot. And then we start diving into that. And he starts telling me about his divorce and how he's trying to redeem himself in life. And he's like, I'm losing weight. And that was his main focus, him losing weight. He's like, nah, man, I'm working on myself. I need to look good. So I tell my wife, I was like, hey, you want anything from the store? Because we're playing games at this time. All the family's going on, and they're playing games. So all the families playing games. They're doing this game where you're supposed to get chopsticks and put candy canes into it. They're playing all these little fun games. It's a great family time, but my cousin needs me. I don't have many moments with him. And we go outside and he says something to me. He's like, man, I never felt like you were my cousin because you'd always hang out only with Joey and you never paid us any attention, which is true because Joey's my age. And like I said, they were a lot smaller. So they weren't really like my age. They were smaller. I saw them grow up. There were more kids to me. But he said that, and now he's 26 and he's right. So I was like, you know what? He's my cousin too. I do it with all these other people. I want to do it with my cousins too. So I made it a point that night to have a moment with my cousins, and it was amazing. Our night didn't finish till 4:30 in the morning. But as me and my cousin are talking, I tell my wife, like, hey, you want anything from the store? She's all like, yeah, I'll take another 24 ouncer. She was getting happy herself. And I told my cousin, let's go to the store. He's like, they're going to play the game. I'm like, man, fuck the game. Let's go to the store. He's like, yeah, let's go. So we go, and he starts telling me about his marriage that failed. I was like, you know what, Primo? I don't even know all the details, man. Let's just dish it out for me. Tell me everything that happened. You don't mind me asking? Like, nah. And he starts telling me. That his chick cheated on him. And he took her back after his best friend. And then she cheated again. Took her back. He ended up cheating like 3 or 4 different times until he finally said he couldn't do it. And I was like, nah, man. Like the first time, bro, should have been the last time. I love my wife. I've been with Erica since 12 years old. But at no point would I put up with her cheating on me. It's not about anything less than disrespect. Because cheating is not just that's just one part of it. Like the thought of physically that happening is tragic, man. Like I can't imagine someone clapping my wife's cheeks like that. But the whole line that goes into it, like her having to set up all these lies to make time for that. That's the part that rubs me the wrong way. Like, man, how can I trust you again? Like, you told me this, and I, with all my heart, believed you just so you could go do that. I wouldn't be able to trust her again. And that's what I told my cousin. I was like, bro, you can't be you have to have more respect for yourself. And he told me that, man, that's why I'm losing weight. And I was like, it has nothing to do with you physically, bro. Has nothing to do with you physically. Like the way you're standing, everything, it's on you. It's your perception of you. When are you happy with you? At what point do you lose enough weight? At what point are you good enough? And he told me, he's like, when I start getting recognized by girls, when they start noticing me, like, that's your problem, Primo. I was like, your perception of success, of loving yourself, you need a woman's approval. You wanting a woman's approval, that validates you that you're good enough now. And when you don't get that validation, you end up like this, Primo. You gotta love yourself, man. Go into fucking beast mode. Conquer all the fucking mountains you need to conquer. Put your flags wherever you need to put them, son. For you, not for no woman. For you. You've already lived this life pleasing your mom. You've already lived your life pleasing your ex-wife. Bro, please yourself. Please yourself. It's about you, carnal. It's about you. You need to build yourself up, and then the women will come with that. Women are going to come. Women are attracted to lions, bro. Be a lion. Live like a lion, carnal. And that talk I had with him that night, I saw him getting his confidence back, man. I saw him like just puffing out his chest. I was like, bro, you're loud. Like, you see these clothes, bro? I was like, they're nice, right? But we're animals. Like, you see any other animal in this world, they don't have clothes on. They're like, now we're domesticated. Now we're like pets. We have, but all we should be doing is hunting. That's it. That's in our DNA. Now, when we go to jobs, we drive cars, but at the root of it, we're animals. You need to be an animal. So we're there and we finally get back. And I go to Erica with her Trulies, and she's ignoring me in the middle of the party. She's just like this. And I go behind her and give her the Trulies. She's like, I'm like, hey. I was like, hey, I was doing it with my cousin. He was hurting. And she wouldn't even whatever, fine. Te voy a estar rogando. I just finished telling my little cousin that you don't put up with women's crap, and then the mind's throwing a tantrum. I'm over here like, hey, babe, I'm sorry. Anyway, I go outside, and my uncle's out there, my same little cousin, another little cousin's there, and we're all three out there. And Erica walks out pissed. And well, I'm there talking smack the whole time. I'm talking, no, man, you don't put up with nothing, primo. She's all mad, she won't talk. And then every time the door would open, I'd be like, and sure enough, it opens and it's Erica. And she's like, they're calling you. And I was like, who? She's like, not you, him. And she tells my uncle, like, oh, she walks to the car all pissed off. And I'm like, damn, like, you see her? She's mad. She's mad. And I tell my uncle, like, Uncle Tio, it's my Tio Steve. And I was like, what's the move right now? He's like, what are you talking about? Like, well, she's mad because we're gone to the gas station this whole time. We've been gone for like an hour. And now she's ignoring me that I barely came back. He's like, a woman has two jobs, mijo. To get mad and to get over it. She'll get over it. I'm like, that's what's up. And my dad comes out after that. Now it's my dad there too. And my dad's a different onda. Like, he doesn't have this machismo stubbornness in him. Like, he's more like into he don't want confrontation. And I tell him, Dad, it's my little cousins, two of them, my uncle, now my dad. I'm like, Dad, what's the move right now? Well, Erica's all pissed off right now, ignoring me because I took off with my cousin to the store and I was gone for an hour. He's like, you were gone for a little bit. I'm like, yeah, Dad. I'm like, but what's the move right now? Do I go talk to her or do I just let her get over it? You're like, nah, you need to go talk to her. Like, wrong. That's the wrong answer. I tell my little cousins, I'm like, you see that? That's the wrong answer. That's what you don't do. Like, that's the I'm like, bro, she's like a child right now. When a child is throwing a tantrum and they want something and you give it to them, that child's going to think that I can throw this tantrum all the time and I'm going to get what I want. I was like, she's no different. She's making this scene in front of my family right now because she's pissed off. Now, if I run to her at the car, she's going to know that every time that she can just throw this little tantrum and make this move. And I'm going to be over there in the car, babe, I'm sorry. It's because I already told her initially in the initial text when I left, hey, I'm doing it with my cousin. He needs me right now. When I walked back in and she was there ignoring me, and I was like, hey, my cousin needed me that moment that we spent with him. It was important. And she wasn't hearing it. Well, at that point, I'm not going to explain it to her anymore. I'm not going to be there rogándole. I'm not going to be groveling at her feet. Hey, I'm sorry you're upset, woman, but right now, my cousin needs me more than you need me opening gifts. And tomorrow, she'll understand that. And when I tell my little cousins this, one of them's like, nah, man, you're being an asshole. Like, I'm not being an asshole, mijo. I was like, you gotta stand your ground, son. At the end of the day, like, you gotta stand your ground. Check it out. Yes, I messed up. But sometimes in life, it's better to deal with the consequence of your actions. I remember one night, I had gone to my friend's house, and we're there till 11 o'clock watching the football game, and we started talking shit about Monopoly. And it was right around COVID time. And he's like, bro, I'll kill you. I'm like, man, you're lucky you don't have a Monopoly. He's like, I happen to have one. And he busted it out. So we started playing Monopoly like 11:30. And he's, según él, that he was awesome. And I started killing him in Monopoly, yo. We play one game. We start another one. And it's about 3 a.m. now that me and him are playing Monopoly. And one of the best nights that I got to spend as a man with another man was playing Monopoly with my best friend. And when I trickled in at 5 a.m, Erica is pissed. I had told her when she was gonna go to bed around 9, I'm like, I'll be headed home soon. The game's almost over. And then all of a sudden I'm walking in at 5 a.m, and she was pissed. I'll never forget, it was on COVID time. My little niece was with us spending the night, and my kids were up because no one was going to school. And everyone's up, and Erica's just walking back and forth, pacing, pissed off, and she had every right to be mad. I would be livid if it was the other way around. But I just took it. I was just there listening to her, like, I'm sorry, my bad, and I'm sorry. Like, that's me. Like, if I mess up, fine, I'm sorry. I'll take my licks, whatever, be mad, whatever. But then she kept on and on and on. And I'm like, you know what? I don't care. I'm sorry you're upset, but I'm not sorry. I ain't sorry. I just had the most amazing night with my best friend playing Monopoly. I'm sorry I didn't call you like, hey, babe, can I play another game of Monopoly? I know I told you I was going to go home, but it's because I really want to. No, fuck that, man. I'm going to sit there and play Monopoly. I'm a grown-ass man. It's not like we're at the club or at the strip club or anything. We're at his house. She has me on live 360. She could literally just look at where I'm at, but she wants to be all pissed off like if I was somewhere else doing something else. Like, I went thrown. I didn't even go out with my good shit. Like I'm out there trying with any intent. So I'm a firm believer in you take your consequences. Some things are just worth the bitching. So you know what? I'll sit here. I'll take your bitching. I'll take the consequence. Whatever you want to do, whatever repercussions there is, I'll take it. And same thing with that night with my little cousin. I explained to her the next morning over some menudo with my dad and mom. I was like, the reason that I left was because he was hurting, and me being to give him a different perspective. And I know it might seem toxic, babe. Like I told her how she walked out, and I turned to my uncle and I told him, like, what's the move, uncle? What do I do right now? I told him what he said. She has 2 thick jobs, to get mad and to get over it. But I think that yes, we need to be sensitive to our women and caring. I've been with mine a long time. I give a lot. But it's okay to take sometimes. It's okay to stand your ground sometimes. It's okay to it be about you. And same thing with my wife. I encourage her to be more selfish with her. It's not just me. And I understand, like, there's certain times that I need my time. I do it with my family. I love all we do, but I need my time also. And I'm understanding to her time. Like, she does her nails. She does her, like, those are little moments that she gets to escape and do whatever she wants to do. Well, let me be me. Let me do me. And that's the beauty of having our relationship that we do. Like, we give and take a lot, but we understand each other. We love each other. She's my rock, man. She's amazing. For all the shit that I give her and all this I talk, I would be nothing without that woman. I really love her a lot. But yeah, I think us men in general need to stand our ground a little more. Like, there needs to be a little more give. Like, I'm not saying be toxic. I get women all the time reaching out at me on TikTok about them dealing with men that are like toxic, like real toxic. I get that. Like, there's no need for it. But you got to hold your ground also. Like, the reason that I was making that point to my little cousin, he allowed his chick to cheat on him 4 times. 4 times. And that was my whole point. Like, at a certain point, you know, be a lion, bro. Be a lion. All of us. Be a lion. Me getting to raise my little lions. That's what I love. Like my little boys. Because, I mean, I have 2 wonderful fathers. One of them, is my stepdad, and he taught me how to hunt, how to fish. I could skin you an animal. Fishing and hunting, I'm all about it. And being an asshole, that's the greatest lessons that man taught me. He's brave, bro. He's like this height to me, but he don't back down for shit. And my dad is the opposite. He's a softie. He doesn't like confrontation. He's soft-spoken. But my dad wasn't there when my mom and him got a divorce. He moved to San Antonio. And I didn't get an opportunity to be with my dad. Because my dad, growing up, he was there till 3rd grade. He would take us out, man. Shit. I remember we'd always be fishing or hunting at baseball practice. But when he left, so did my dad. So did the moments that I would get to spend with him doing father-son things. Because my stepdad, we did them, but there was no like, ay, mijo. Like, man, like, I felt like he was just walking in the motions like how a dad should be. Just, I didn't understand that my stepdad's real cold, man. Like, he's he wasn't nurtured, I guess. He wasn't shown how to love. It's hard for him to show love. Like, he's real rigid. I know he loves me. It took me a long while to realize that. I fought for his love a lot. Like, I always wanted his approval. I always wanted his love. I could never get him to say, "Mijo, I'm proud of you. Mijo, I love you." Like, all these key words that I was waiting to hear, that I needed validation. I never got them. But it's because he never got them. And it's taken a long time and a lot of hate, a lot of anger, a lot of pain, and a lot of healing for me to realize my dad does love me. He does love me, chingos. He just loves me differently. Like, he doesn't love me like I have to tell myself, "Hey, bunny, I love you." He doesn't have to do that. He does it in other ways. Then he shows how he loves me by being there for me in any way that I need him. Even in those tough asshole words that I don't want to hear. Yeah, like, a lot of people blow smoke up your ass. And he's not one of them. He'll tell you straight out. He'll be quick to remind you of your fuck up. Nah, but don't do this again. Like, and I hate that shit. But I need that shit. And a lot of us don't like hearing the shit that we need. We love hearing the shit we want. I want you to tell me how awesome I am. I want you to tell me all the good. But having that mad talking shit, I hate it, but I need it. Because it keeps me motivated. It keeps me focused. Oh, fuck, I'm not going to let him. Like, even through him talking shit, he's being a dad to me. And it's not the dad that I grew up seeing on TV. You know, those awesome dads like Philip Banks. Like Will Smith's dad. He was so cool. But he's my dad. And I'm going to be grateful for what my dad has taught me. Because he's taught me a lot. But I didn't get the dad that I always wanted. Like, I wanted a dad that would wrestle with me and talk to me about girls and not lie to me about boogeyman. And I'm talking about boogeyman being like anything in life that my parents lied to me. They lied to me a lot. They would tell me there was cameras in the house and how like all the scare tactic of parenting. And ever since my kids were young, I remember telling my daughter, she was like 7 years old, 9 years old. I don't remember. She was young. And I remember asking her, like, "Babe, how do you want me to raise y'all? Do you want me to protect y'all and coddle y'all? Or do you want me to keep it real with you?" And that little girl, "Dad, keep it real." And ever since that moment, like, just hearing those words, I already knew how I wanted to raise them, but hearing that little girl tell me that, okay. And every day since, I've kept it real with them. I'm real honest with them. They know everything, because I don't want to lie to them. It's like I told them, I want y'all to learn from me and not your little friends. I've told them about drugs. I told them any questions they've had about drugs. I've told them about sex. Had those conversations, talked about all that, because they have these questions and they're little sponges and they want to know, but if they don't have a G to show them, where are they supposed to pick it up? I had my friend here, my best friend, El Fern. He'll be on my podcast one of these days. And I had my son and his friends over. And they're like 12 years old. And we're out there talking with them. And one of the little boys says, "The problem today, sir, is that these kids are soft and they get mad for everything." And my friend starts going off on this tangent about, "Yeah, there's a lot of soft men, a lot of soft kids and blah, blah, blah. And you're pussies," and talking all this shit. Like, hey, it's on us. He's like, I don't even have kids. I'm like, yeah, wait, but still, it's on us. Like, us G's, us that carry ourselves a certain way, it's on us to show these kids these knowledge. Just your knowledge of how you pick up women, for example. Because he was slick with it, bro. He had this line where you tell women, like, "Hey, I bet I could tell you the color of your panties just by touching them." No, you can't. There, he'd be there for touching her panties, and boom, open door. But like, that knowledge for a kid is gold. I mean, I know it might sound stupid to a lot of people, but for a child that's trying to find his way, bro, that's gold to be told these little nuggets. Like, what? Does that work? And okay, maybe a lot of times it won't work for them. My friend is handsome, and Mao, and other things. We'll talk about that later. But um, um, they need us men to be telling them certain knowledge and about life. If you know how to weld, bro, if you're a welder, start spitting knowledge about welding to these kids. Like, oh, do you know how easy it is to get a rod, and or whatever it is, or talking about mechanics, talking about life, talking about death. Like, don't shelter our kids. Like, have these conversations with our kids. And when I say our kids, it's not just our kids. Like, I mean my three. I talk to all of them. I know all three of my kids' friends. I know them. Like, I make it a point to meet them. I'm there talking with them and having an opportunity to be a Theo, to them, and just for them to come to me with questions. And it's like I told them, hey, whatever you want to ask me, you don't have to ask in front of your friends or Isaiah. You know, you can talk to me privately, and they have. And having these little moments with these little kids that don't have their fathers, it means something to me, because I didn't have that. And I know what it is to want it and not have it. I know what it is to be at a friend's house and see them with their dad and just like, wow, that's what it's like, and feel left out. And it's important for me to give that to my kids' friends, because I know I'm an amazing dad to my kids. I talk a lot. I go hard on them on Madden, but still, man, I give them my all. I give them my heart. I gave them my life, bro. I keep messing with them and telling them how I should have been an astronaut. In this life, I could have been an astronaut, but they kept me from that because Erica baby trapped me. And for real though, like, I give them all my heart. Like, I'm always trying to help them solve their problems, because I don't like solving their problems. I like to, get them there, but let them connect the dots. And getting to mentor their little friends and just be someone to talk to and get advice from. It's been pretty cool. It's important for us to mentor these little kids and show them. Because if we don't, then who else? And if we don't show them, then we can't sit here and complain that these kids are so disrespectful, that they're not opening doors, like all this shit that they should be doing out of respect. This weekend, we're at my son's wrestling match. And there was this little boy, he had a shirt that said, "Fuck war, anti-flag." And he stood there proudly as he accepted his award. And that pissed me off. Like, that really pissed me off. Like, I get it. Freedom of speech. Like, you're allowed to say whatever you want in this country. It's the beauty of this country. But to wear that shirt after a lot of people have bled for this flag, it really pissed me off. My grandpa got the Purple Heart. And I remember growing up, always seeing my grandpa without a shirt. Bro, my grandpa was a G for many reasons to me. But I would always go over and he'd be in his boxers, his cowboy boots, and his cowboy hat, and that's it. And his stomach was shredded, bro. Like, it was all put together. Like, they got a piece on this side for over here, and he had plastic intestines because they shot him up in the war. And what he had to go through, and his life got cut short because what he gave for his country, like many other, and all we got to do is show respect for this flag for a minute. How long is our national anthem? And yet you're gonna say that? It pissed me off. But we need to show our kids respect. The national anthem started, and I told my son, like, hey, take off your cap. You wearing that cap while that song's on is about as disrespectful as that little boy with that shirt. And it is what it is. But we had a good wrestling match this weekend. My son played 5 matches. I was in there. I was cheering for another little boy that he was wrestling awesome. He was doing a real good job too. So I got to cheer him on. And I love going to these matches because football, it's a team effort. Wrestling is very intimate. Seeing my boy get in there, he lost 2 of his matches, but shit, he killed it on the other 3. And he did a good job all around. But just watching him, and then having my 14-year-old with me, he was in the stands, and he was just watching instead. Like, next year it's you, son. And next year it's you. But yeah, we spent a great time with the family all together. It was pretty awesome. So yeah. Like I said, guys, this is my first podcast. I need more guests. I'm gonna start chopping it up at least once a week with my podcast until I get going full stream. I don't know how many I'm gonna do, but I want to do at least an hour with y'all. Like I said, I want to have it's called Hablando con Taco. I want to have guests. We eat some tacos. I ask you my 5 questions, and we just go to deep water. If you want to come down with me, do a little podcast with me, hit me up. As always, guys, you can find me on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube under Texas 956 Dad. If you could subscribe to my YouTube, I need to get my subs up on there. That's the whole reason we're transitioning from TikTok to YouTube. I'm going to put all my content here and just grab out clips from my podcast and put them on a TikTok. That's what's up. I love y'all. If y'all got anything to reach out to me, anything you want to talk about, my inbox is always open. As always, love y'all. God bless y'all. Laters.